Hey everyone, how are you all doing? Before I get started, I just want to do a sound check really quickly. Are you guys getting that high pitched frequency sound right now at all? I think I may have been able to temporarily fix the problem, but I'm not sure. So if those of you who are in the chat could let me know, that would be great. Um, I have a very loud fan on my computer, and I think that's what's causing it. I'm getting ready to get a whole new computer anyway, but just not yet. Maybe next month. All good with sound, no high pitch. Oh, good. Okay, okay, good. Well, guys, this is a big one. This is a big one. And as I mentioned in my Telegram and in my alchemy group, I have been a little hesitant to share this download, which will become very obvious as I explain it. There's nothing to fear. I don't want anyone to be scared at all. There's there is going to probably be some triggering happening. I think some of you, maybe a lot of you, are going to be triggered by some of the things I'm going to say and share with you. I don't think it's going to be brutal or anything like that, but all I'm asking is for you guys to have an open mind, because this download that I received, I got to tell you, even I didn't see it coming. I was a little bit mind blown, and I'm like, really? But as I'm also kind of shocked at the same time, the truth of it was working through me so fast that I'm like, how did I not see this before? And so please just keep an open mind. Bear with me, hold space for me as I go through with this. It's a little bit of a raw and real. I gotta be honest. It is a little bit of a raw and real in some ways. Okay. Big breath, big breath. So I got this download last week that was so big that it was kind of like a zip file. It had to have been compressed. And so I got some of it in the moment when it came through, but it kind of started to unzip itself and extract more files and give me more understanding of this as I sat with it more, and also as I shared it with some people close to me. Just to kind of bounce it off them. And as I was talking, more downloads were becoming, like more of the information was coming through. What I'm going to share with you today is controversial in the sense that this is nothing that I have heard anyone talk about before on anyone's channel. I have never heard anyone mention it to me before in passing. And it's going to veer very differently off the path than I think most of you in my audience are used to. So it's off the path of what I'm used to too. I'll be very honest. But at the same time, it's also beautiful. And I think once I get to the very end of it, you guys are going to see that. Okay. So, without getting into too many details as to why, because there are personal reasons, but given what I am going through and the work that I need to do, there's been something that has come into my awareness from late summer, that there was a possibility that I may have to get the vaccine. And I was kind of like, okay, I really don't want it. I don't believe in it. I mean, I've been in alternative health from my teenage years, and I stopped getting them when I was a teenager. And it's, of course, no shame on anyone who's had it and believes in it. I think we're all welcome to have our own rights and our own choices for our own body. But I also was recognizing the path that I'm on and what is kind of my reality, and I realized that it might be a possibility. And so I had to sit with that, and having finding Kelly Thiebaud and listening to the collective's information on it, on how our beliefs are extremely important and how anything affects us physically, was really excellent timing, because when I first heard that, it was coming in at the time where I was having this realization. So long story short, last week I had to get it. And I think part of the reason why I'm scared is I feel like some of you are going to be disappointed in me in some way. And I kind of have this inner child wound of like disappointing people, letting people down. But I'll just say that if there was a way around it, I would have taken it. But this is something I've had to discuss with my higher self, my guides, and I've been questioning it. Like, why is this coming across my path? This is not something that I particularly believe in is right for me. I also have my own thoughts on all of that. But I kind of got this understanding through my inner dialogue with my guidance that it was part of my mission. And I also got that everything was going to be okay. I didn't understand exactly what that meant. So lo and behold, last Monday, before I was going in to get it, I sat in my car in the parking lot and I started working my energy up. I started to work with the light fields and the light energy, and started listening to a particular song that happens to be the song I was listening to when I bilocated into the mountains. And so I was listening to that, which is just it amps me up. It gets me going. It gets my vibe super high. And I just sat there really working my energy field. And I started preparing my field to be in its highest vibration and its highest field of power. And then when I finally got to that state where I was just buzzing, I then went in to the building where this liquid thing was that was going to be used in me. And I started manipulating the energy field of it to work with it so that it would, when it entered my body, there would be no harm done, and that it would enter my body like distilled water. And basically neutralizing anything there, but knowing that whatever effects it would have on me, there would be no harm. And after doing the work, I felt so literally high on life that I knew I was ready. So luckily, other than a little bit of pain in my arm from getting it, I've been blessed and no symptoms or anything like that. What's been interesting, though, is that while I was doing all of this vibrational work, I received this massive download that came in that I told you guys about. And I was just like, whoa, this I did not see coming. So I sat with it more. And as the week went on, I started just getting more and more downloads. My intuition just seemed to get activated through this whole experience. And so as I sat with this download, I kind of was like, okay, I got to reach out to a couple people here and bounce this off them. And I got confirmations. Literally, one of my friends that I spoke to yesterday, she said that she was literally having the exact same conversation with another friend. Both of these friends of mine have had it. Both of them are big light workers and are in the similar minds of many of you and me on all of this. But given everyone's situation, there were reasons it had to be done. And so both of them and other people I know have also realized that there have been major spikes in their intuition and their psychic abilities since receiving it. And so I want to be very clear here, and this is why I'm doing a live, because I'm watching the live chat as I'm delivering this information, because I want there to be no misunderstanding of what I am saying. By no means, by me delivering this message at any point, do I want any of you to feel like I am advocating for you to get it. That is not what this is about. I advocate for personal choice. If you choose, if you feel this is for you, you get it. If you don't feel, you do not get it. Okay. Follow your personal sovereignty and your choice. I want to make that very clear. By no means at any point throughout this video, please ever mistaken my intention around that. It's not. I'm trying to deliver information that is coming in that is even blowing my mind. And I'm trying to, I guess, deliver something that I know is very different from what I've been hearing and what I've been seeing. So the download that I received was that one of the reasons why I was needing to get it was to understand how it works. And to know that it has its own consciousness. And so by understanding this, I was shown that there were ways to manipulate the frequency of this technology, okay, this liquid technology that is being used, to manipulate in a way through my own frequency that I can help raise the, and not just me, anyone else who's like has awareness and is higher vibrational, like they know how to work with energy, they know how to do this, are manipulating the frequencies of it to help it into its higher expression. So just like with anything, we live in a world of duality. And this is why some of the downloads have come through in the last 2 videos that I've done, is around this idea of duality. Everything has a light and a dark expression. It's in us all. And so does this. There's no reason why this couldn't have a higher expression available to it. And if we think about it, there are a lot of people on this planet who have received this liquid technology. And first, let me say that I'm very aware that there are people who are suffering because of it. There are people who have been injured because of it. And I know that there are people who have passed away because of it. I do not even want this to diminish that reality. It is a reality. There's also a flip reality to it that we can't deny because it exists. By no means, though, by me recognizing this other reality, am I diminishing? Please don't think that I am diminishing the adverse effects of the liquid technology. Okay. So basically they said, think about it like ancestral healing. A lot of us have been doing deeper shadow work, going into our own healing, wounds that are passed on to us through our genetics, through our parents, our grandmothers and grandparents, all of that, past lives are all held within our DNA. And we are capable of, through our own shadow work, clearing the DNA, not just for us, but through many generations. Not everything, because there are certain contracts that people hold within their own soul contracts that they must go through. But this is something that was brought into my awareness, that this works in very similar ways. So by working with this frequency, the frequency of this technology that many people on this planet have in them right now, which was by design of a higher plan as well. Do not mistaken, I'm getting a message right now, do not mistake that yes, there was a lower plan, but there was also a higher plan. And the higher plan is that it can simultaneously help to awaken many through frequency. I actually happen to know people who are not what would be so awakened to everything that we discuss on this channel and are starting to channel and get downloads, and they don't even know where it's coming from. And it's from after getting this. So again, I'm not saying that this is a good thing or a bad thing. Okay, it's got both components to it. And I think depending on your own soul contracts, whatever you've signed up for, wherever your beliefs are in the moment when you receive it, are going to heavily dictate how this technology interacts with you. You know, when we when we're going through our awakening, the biggest thing here that we have to understand is that we are all seeking the truth. And in order to be able to see the truth, we have to be willing to depart from our own emotional attachments, our own belief attachments, in honor of potentially seeing something that we may have not seen before. And this is what I'm discovering through this download, is that there are other things that are not being made aware of, or not necessarily talked about, but are there. And this is one of them that I'm sharing with you today. So through my own work and my own energetic manipulation, I'm helping to, and again, this is not just me. I'm just speaking from my own personal experience here. Work with the consciousness of that particular one that I received to assist in the higher expression of it. This is like all mind blowing. I got to tell you, like, even when I got it, I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, it's crazy. But the reason why I'm being called to share this with all of you is for a couple of reasons. One, I think it's so important in our own journey. There are going to be times where we are so certain about one thing, but then a truth will be revealed to us, and it'll be revealed to us in a way that it's so hard to deny it. Like, even though you've got your own beliefs and your own experiences and what you see and what you hear, there's also this truth that you just can't deny. And so when we are on this journey, it is so important to be able to always leave room to suspend our own beliefs, our own experiences, not for the sake of necessarily like being taken down a path we don't want to be taken, but to just be open to other possibilities in how everything works. So we all have roles to play in this whole experience. And I want all of you who are really adamant about standing up for the reasons of not getting it to really, if that's your calling, please stay strong in that. I honor that, and I value your role in this whole process on a global scale of how that's affecting things. I truly admire you, and I thank you. I'm in deep gratitude. But I'm also realizing that we all have individual roles that are needed, and there are certain ways that we bust the system. And in some ways, some of us are being called to actually work with it through our own self. I'm kind of shocked. I wasn't expecting my intuition to get stronger and for my downloads to increase. But there is a higher expression. And so working with the frequencies, I'm trying to kind of clear out any lower expressions of it to assist in how this is all playing out. And I think there are other people who are doing that as well. The people that I've spoken to they said that, yes, this has its own consciousness, and we can work with it. So let me kind of tune into all of you guys in the chat, and how are you receiving this? Like, I know it's a lot. I know it's kind of out there, and it kind of, it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm not going to lie. How are you guys all feeling about this? Can you just kind of let me know in the chat? How is this sitting with you? Does it make sense? Are you upset? Are you angry? Are you like, I don't even know what I feel right now. I'm just processing. Let me kind of know in the chat so I can kind of see, because I've been seeing it moving rather quickly. Noctua rising. Be nice, people. Didn't anyone teach you if you don't have anything nice to say? Oh, who's saying the bad stuff? Oh, well, you know, that's okay. So I totally expected that. That's why I was a little bit nervous about coming on, because I know there's going to be a lot of judgment around it. But that's okay. I totally respect everyone's opinion. You know, one of the things where the thing that's been so powerful about this whole experience too is, you know, we are in this situation because we've given our power away. We've given our power away to someone or something outside of us. And over the springtime, when I started to get the downloads around what we can do to break down the actual technology through supplementation, which I did a whole podcast on that back in late April, early May with Alexia Eisenhower. And we talked about borax and CD and a couple of other things, and breath work and energy manipulation. And so for any of you who might be wondering, that is something that I am utilizing. I am utilizing borax right now. I'm utilizing colloidal silver as well, and a few other basic supplements like vitamin C, lysine, whatever. But the one thing that's been very apparent to me was you can't be afraid of this. Just the same way that I was never afraid of the virus, I can't be afraid of this. Because then I'm giving my power to it. And I'm just like, I'm at this point in my journey where I'm like, I'll be damned if I continue to give away my power to something outside of me. I didn't come here to keep repeating the cycle over. And this is why we are where we are. And so I'm like, okay, I have power over this. I've got to utilize everything that I've known, everything that I've learned in my own journey through energetic manipulation, working with the light, and breath work and everything, just working with my own belief center, my own shadow work that I've been doing, my inner child healing that I've been doing, everything that I have been doing for the last 25 freaking years. Okay, I had to own it. I'm like, I didn't just do this just cause, you know, like I'm doing this for a reason. And it's kind of like really opened my eyes to how easy it is to give it away, and how much fear is used against us from both sides of the aisle to keep us in a state where we're constantly still giving our fear away, or giving our power away, sorry. So that's kind of where I'm coming at it from. And yeah, so Roma, it totally makes sense. You just damned yourself. You just submitted to Ahriman, the Borg. I didn't submit to anyone, my love. I submitted to no one. So yeah, so I'm not going to get into the details because there's things that I want to keep to myself right now. And I just ask for that to be respected. But just know that this isn't something that I wanted to do. I don't even believe it truly works. You look at the data. But given what my path is, it's been part of it. And it's been part of it in ways that I didn't exactly anticipate or know. So, see, 777 Lightkeeper. Why did you feel you needed to do this? I don't understand. I know, and I understand that you don't understand. It's hard. There are a lot of there are a lot of messages out there. The messaging out there is very polarized. And so that's why I knew this video was going to be very upsetting for some of you. But personally, I don't like to get pulled into the polarities because it's always one thing against another. And it's personally, if there was another way that I didn't have to, I would have done that. I would have not done it, but there wasn't another way. And I can't really go into the details of that. But yeah, so the powerful part of it is that I know I'm working with this in a very higher vibrational way. And there are things that are coming through with it that I know some people just don't want to hear, they don't want to believe. And I totally understand that. I totally get it. There's a lot to process here. I do feel and see though that those of you who are getting it, get it. So please know that this is difficult for me as well to share. Like, this is me being very transparent and very honest with you. I've always been transparent with you guys on this channel. And that's one of the things I'll always continue to be. Yeah, one dat sun lover, whatever the vax is, our freedom to choose is what I'm standing for. And that's truly what it's all about. It should be your right to choose, whether it's yes or no, or a mix of something else, who knows? But that's ultimately what sovereignty is your freedom to choose. And I had to make a choice because the other option was going to be very detrimental, much worse, I'll tell you, than what I just did. So that's where that is. So it's interesting because the reason why, okay, so let me just finish this video off and tell you why I'm telling you all of this. Because if you are in a neutral state over this particular liquid stuff, and you know how to work with the higher frequencies and the light, you can work with the consciousness to help it move into a higher expression of itself. And I'd like you guys to kind of sit with that. Now, if you're coming from a place of fear over it, then I would not advise working with it. Do not project more fear into this. If it disgusts you, then yeah, don't. And I get it. But yeah, I've been asked to share this, or not that I've been asked to share this. I've been kind of guided to share this because of that potential. And to know that there is a lot of help in the unseen realms working with this in ways that many of us don't understand. So I don't have all the answers. I'm not going to pretend to sit here I have all the answers. I don't. But I do know when I feel something resonating within me that I can't deny there's truth to it. And there was truth in this. So I can already see some of the messages coming in on my phone through Telegram that I have submitted to the tyranny. And this is the other thing, is that I get it, because I believe that it has to be like, I believe in the non-compliance. I absolutely do. This is something that was not an easy decision. I don't know if any of you will fully understand that or get it. But I also know that there are other roles and ways to work with this, and that I feel like some of us are being called to do that. And that's where I can only leave it. I can only leave it at there. That's all I can say. And I got to let you guys have your own feelings and have your own opinions and let that be. You know, I've said stuff here before on my channel where I've had people get really upset with me and unsubscribe. And then later down the road, a year and a half, 2 years later, I get emails with, literal apologies. I get apologies from many people and saying that they weren't able to see it then, or that they weren't able to receive the information, but they understand now. And that's not to say that everyone will feel that way. Some people will completely depart and never return, and that's okay. I'm staying true to myself. I'm staying true to what information I'm getting and what I believe. I wouldn't deliver this if I didn't feel that it had a higher purpose or servants to those of you who are watching. So, let's see. Okay, Fuzzy 75, because you're saying it's good to get. I did not say that, and I clarified that earlier in the video. And this is the problem and this is why I wanted to do this live, because I knew that this information would be very triggering, and I knew that probably the most triggering thing would be what I shared with you at the very beginning. But I am no ways advocating for you to get it because I think it's good. I'm not saying that. I feel that if you feel that that's part of your path, you should follow that. And if you feel that it's not, you shouldn't. There are other ways to work with the energy without actually having it. And that's why I'm trying to share that with you, is because I've now understand some of that information that I don't know if I would have necessarily been able to receive had I not been in the state that I was in the higher frequencies. So, like I said, controversial, trigger warning, wasn't lying. I was not lying. And just sit with it and let it unpack itself. That doesn't mean that you're going to see it one way or the other. It's just, that's all I'm saying. So glad you're being so transparent. Thank you. So, listen. There are two sides to every coin. There are going to be there are always going to be a lower expression and a higher expression of everything, a dark and a light. And if you deny that, you are being untrue to yourself. And if you're not willing to see that, even with the things you don't want to see it in, I am telling you right now that this is part of the block to the whole reason of why we're still here in this position. We have to be able to see the truth, even the truths we don't want to see. And this is pervasive across the entire globe. One of the things that I have seen in the community is that many believe that they are seeing the truth exactly as it is and that everyone else needs to wake up to it. I promise you, there are truths that you think are real and they are not. And we have to be willing to see that. If we're not willing to see it, we cannot expect anyone else to see the illusions and their own truth. And that's all I can really say. You're welcome, Jack. Thank you for being you. It's refreshing. JC Love, for people who claim to be from a community that lives for the high frequency of love, some of you are living in your own fears and lies. You know, this is just part of the journey. We all get triggered. We all have fears. We all have ways that we're seeing things, our own beliefs. And so, you know, I knew that this was going to happen and I knew that this was going to be the case, but I also am strong enough in my own truth and my own sovereignty to know that I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with this. Do I like seeing some of these comments that some of you are writing? No, I don't. They're hurtful. But hey, it says more about you than it does about me. We all have ways that we can conduct ourselves and communicate. But at the same time, I also have compassion for the download that I've shared and how it would be received. So, all right, guys. So know that I love you all and that I'm just here to be me, to do me, and to share with you what I receive, whatever wisdoms I believe I'm coming across, and let them all play out. And that doesn't mean I'm right. It does not mean I'm right. If something or much of what I said or all of what I said does not resonate with you, then do not take that on. Do not. It is not for you to have or to be in resonance with, and that's okay. That doesn't make me wrong, me right, you right. It's just how it is. No judgment. All right, guys. So tomorrow night, I will have Erin Abke on the podcast, and we're going to be talking a lot about duality, but we're going to be talking a lot about the engineered insanity that we're all experiencing on the planet right now. So I hope to see many of you there at 8 p.m. Eastern. It'll be a great show. Erin's got a lot of knowledge on the Law of One, and he's done a lot of work with the course. So I hope to see you guys all there. And of course, if you guys need any information about me, how to book with me, all that information is in the description below. Lots of light and love to you and blessings to you on all your journey. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow.